can't say. You've been saying it. You can't get out.
Davian, do you know Gerard
For a while
tonight? How about you?
What? Gerard coming. Nothing well.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. He's away. Stuck in traffic. Thank you. I miss family.
I know, right? It's a law. Yeah, we're up.
Like, no.
Yep.
That's so funny.
They wouldn't pay.
Yeah.
Who's a baker?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what the key is? Less sugar recipe balls. It's
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order North Brunswick Township Board of Education regular public meeting, Wednesday, March 30th, 2022, at Linwood Campus. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Brockman.
Here.
Mr. Duran Harris.
Here.
Miss James.
Here.
Miss Keir. Mr. LaGuerre. Dr. Patel.
Here.
Ms. Toad.
Here.
Mr. Wen.
Here.
Ms. Zolik.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Hock. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, the public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location, was distributed by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022, in the following manner. Put on the bulletin board for announcement in the board office, 12 Place, North Brunswick, mailed to the Home News, Tribune, Sentinel, and the clerk of the Township of North Brunswick, and delivered to 9 duly elected board members. And at this time, I'll pass it over to you, Ms. Shiroka, for
Yes,
our
thank you.
presentations.
Well, this is amazing to see so many people here tonight, and it's obviously a step toward more normalcy. So thank you all for coming tonight to honor our winter athletes. I believe Mr. Morrell is going to kick things off with us for our girls basketball, and the girls basketball players want to come. What we thought we would do, have you stand up here, and then he will go through all the players. So anybody from the girls basketball team wants to come up, you can stagger yourselves on the dais over here. Is it on? Come over here, girls, and stand up here so that way the audience can see you. You can't help, sorry. Here you
I'd
go.
like to thank you for support education, of course, as well as the parents and the players and the coaches for everything this winter season. We had some great successes, and to start us off, we'll talk about the girls' basketball team. Coach Zielinski is unable to be here today, but of course, he did share with me some information about each athlete, so I want to go through each athlete's accolades and give them the recognition that they deserve. First up, we have Kelly Gatano. Kelly was, you can step forward, Kelly, like no more. This is language, so as a coach, it's awfully nice to take the opponent's top scorer and put an X through them. This is basically what it's able to do. Starting the game plan from our scout report, we just took Kelly, put her on the best offensive player they had, and then worked there. It was an absolute pleasure to coach her. She is an elite competitor, one of the best defenders in the county, with no fear in her heart. And this year, her offensive game absolutely blossomed, finishing baskets especially well, the drive, and the basket. She holds incredibly smart ball, having 4 assistants as a coach. There, she had 47 assists and 26 turnovers. In her career, she totaled 240 points, 144 steals, 161 rebounds, and 135 assists. Again, this is a great athlete, a top-level competitor. Also a young woman who sees the court clearly and understands well what goes on around her, and impressively is in control of the situation. For these accomplishments, she was named second-team All-White Division. Kelly has earned a scholarship to Brocker at Mount University next year. She's enjoyed her time with us. We certainly appreciate what she's done for her. Next is Megan Farrell. Megan was second-team All-White Division as well. Megan is what some basketball coaches call a stat stuffer. Every game, she would have an impressive stat in a wide range of categories. This is because she does so many of the little things that help the team win. For example, in the GMC County tournament versus Woodbridge Academy, she had 13 points, 13 steals, 6 assists, and 4 blocks. State playoffs, 8 7 steals, 3 assists, 3 blocks. Montgomery, 7 rebounds, 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, and blocks, and 3 steals for Icetown. Megan led our team in three-point field percentage and second in total threes with 40. In a rare feat, Megan led our team in both blocks, 54, and assists, 78. Was also third overall on the team in scoring with 162 points. She finished second in rebounds with 153 and steals 68. She finished her career with 554 points, 99 3-points, and 57 wins. Obviously, Megan being the same person will be team for. In reward for a valuable role in our team, the UC coaches voted Megan second team all-white division for third year in a row. She is off to college in Florida. We'll miss her, and we wish her well. Next, we have Anne-Marie Bogliato. Anne-Marie is first team all-white division. A sharpshooter of the most dangerous kind, Anne-Marie vaulted to the elite North Brunswick this year. For all I tell, 43% year school record. She's 6'9" for her year, poised to go over 100 mark next year. She also has over 500 career points already, with 1 year left. Anne-Marie also continued to develop in other areas of her game this season. She finished with 40 steals and 37 assists, both career high far for her. She is a go-to scorer for us who presents lots of game plan problems for opposing coaches. She loves basketball, and all the work she put into this game was more in time to take court. All the effort she was with first team all division by the end coach this year. Congratulations. Next up, Niall McCargo, first team all-white division and first team all GMC. And I believe this is Niall's third year in a row for both of those, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone who was there on February 4th will remember it for a long time. When Niall topped the 1,000-point career mark for her year, the fifth ever. First on that night was a burst of emotion for great plan. So happy for her, so proud of her, and so thankful that all of us could be part of something like that. What only Niall can remember, though, are all the days playing since she was a little girl, all the work that made that moment at JFK possible. The person to admire in our building, in our school community, where she's an academic superstar as well, and is respected by everyone, staff and students alike. On the court, she's a scorer of highest magnitude, now totaling 1,207 career points, only 40 short of the North Brunswick Bulls record, and she to boys well, she's 17 points. This is not all she does. She led in rebounds, by far with 248, and in steals with 116. She had the highest shooting percentage and the lowest score percentage. The list goes on and on. We could stay here all night and not get to her contribution. And plays her best in the biggest games, scoring 39 points for St. Thomas Aquinas, a school record 40 points in the Montgomery victory, and 24 points and 17 rebounds by Hightstown. Beyond the stats, nobody can ever fit when she was in great Montgomery comeback. We absolutely beyond. For her confidence, Niall was named first all-white division and first all GMC. She now has a career total of 1,207 points and is poised to make history here in North Brunswick. Many people are waiting to see what the next chapter looks like. Congratulations. Next up, I would like to introduce Coach Ed Bradini for boys basketball.
I'd like to first of all congratulate all the winter athletes that are being recognized tonight. I'm going to hear during the evening some remarkable people and remarkable achievements. So sincere congratulations from me, I'm sure from our whole athletic department to all fine young athletes in honor. It's my pleasure tonight to bring up right now our representative tonight for boys basketball, Ian Morris. A nice hand for Ian. I love both eloquence, Coach Zielinski, and the numerical accuracy of Coach Zielinski. So I'm just going to speak a few things about Ian here. And I can tell you he's our lead scorer. I can tell you he had 14 points a game. I can tell you the percentage that he shot from three-point. But I think the more important thing, and the thing that will help him far beyond any of that going forward, is about the word leadership. Ian in a position as a junior playing a championship team during the season, and to graduate and move on, and then to take that leadership role and get the kids together in the summer to find, we started 2 freshmen here, to be an example to those kids and to really keep the program and the 3 stand for it going forward, keeping that together. So I'd like to thank him for that, and we're really proud of him as he goes on to Rutgers University. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to introduce boys and girls bowling, Miss Amy McCormick.
Evening, everybody. All right, going into the season, I didn't even know if we were going to have a boys team. We only had 4 return players after last year that I knew were definitely coming back. If it were not for these 2 gentlemen right here, we would not have had a boys team. They did fantastic. Prakash, it was his 4th year. He's a senior. End of the year, earning all division. He was in the top 10 averages in the division. Caden did well. He was his 1st year. He was a sophomore, but his 1st year on the team. He also earned all white division. Prakash, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, his average improved by 14 pins. Not a lot of people know what that means in the bowling world, but 14 pins for an average is a lot. He had a high game of 244 and his high series ever of 700. If I remember correctly, he landed like perfectly hit 700. And he finished the year with an average of 171. Caden, his 1st year, his high game was 225 with a high series of 567. From the start to the end, he had an 8-pin improvement. He finished the season with a 162 average. Caden was also only about 20 pins away from making the GD individual tournament. So as a sophomore, we are going to have next year and we'll keep recruiting. We had 9 boys this year, I think. So we did a lot of hard work on getting us a team to be competitive. All right, so congratulations, gentlemen.
Stay there.
Next up for boys and girls swimming, we have Coach Egan.
Congratulations to everyone who's here that's being awarded. Your efforts don't go unnoticed. First, we're going to speak about Sammy Guanino. Is she here? Sammy was awarded both all division swimmer and all conference swimmer. Sammy alone scored 2 GMC points. She got 5th place in the individual medley, 5th place in the breast. She got 7th along with her relay team in the medley relay and 7th in the free relay. Sammy also now the top 15 fastest Brunswick Township ever in the medley and the 100 breast. So she's right up there along with people who have records from the 70s. She scored 103 dual meet points alone, and this is Sammy's 1st year, so it's her first varsity letter. But besides all numbers, which sounds so great, Sammy offered maturity and grace to our team. So we're so excited to see what she does for the next year. Okay, so probably there'll be lots of empty seats, but I like to call it the boys and girls swimming. So come on, guys. Peace out, guys. Okay, so we are here honoring boys and girls swimming for the 9th year. Both boys and girls swimming has won the All Red Division and All Conference Sportsmanship Award. Any team have won 9 times. I can't say in a row. We're 8 times in a row, and last year we didn't get it, and then we got it again this year. So I can't say in a row, but 9 times pretty awesome. I couldn't do it without my coaches, Ms. Barnhart and Ms. Johnson. But to say that both these teams represent North Brunswick with such poise and sportsmanship is an understatement. We are the only school that doesn't play that school, so we also want home. They always hold every team that comes. We give every team the opportunity to feel at home at our pool, and I know that our captains go out of the way to teach our underclassmen what we stand for as a team, which is family, and that's really important to me, coach. When I came on 9 years ago, I said this was going to be my goal, that this was something that we were going to win often, and the way it worked is that teachers vote at a division, vote on team, and both this year we're unanimous, both boys, girls, for red and white. So it's a great honor to be awarded this award so many times. And this is one of the quotes I tell the kids often. Sportsmanship for me is when a guy walks off the court and you really can't tell whether he has lost or he has won. When he carries himself with pride either way and shows respect. And that's what every single one of these members do. Thank you.
Okay.
Next up, I would like to introduce Coach Grimes for winter track.
Well, cameras, the track team come up, please? Yeah, track team come up. I mean, you guys are fast, so you can. Good one. That's tough. Not bad, half of you, so. Doing the whole deal on 4 minutes. Stories too, but what about those we here? First, we'll take you in, we have Alessandra, step up. This is Alessandra Colo. It's been 5 years we had a legitimate thrower, throw for North Brunswick High School. This is her season. And in her first season, she actually medaled the GCs, and she now stands as number 6 in school history with a whole other year to go. We're very excited that she's with us, and as you can see, I'm very excited. I haven't had points in that event. Very, very excited. Okay, yeah, you can step forward now. This is our freshman. As you see, she smiles a lot, except for running. Smile goes away quickly. But Yaya is the #1 ranked freshman in Middlesex County and Central Jersey in the hurdles. And I did a little research. She's actually the number 4 ranked hurdler in the entire state for freshmen. So this is our first. So yeah, she actually scored a GMC freshman. And what's interesting is she actually was injured half the season. She had a quad strain, so she did this at 94%. You can imagine how excited I am for the next 3 years with her. Okay, next. This is R.A. Pearson Jr. He is one of our stars. However, he's in early injury, which makes me this more. He's actually within the county about 400 and the 800 in the hurdles. He's the only person in the county able to do all 3 events. So we're very excited only a junior because for him to be able to do that is a wonderful thing. So we'll look forward to some more, right? All right, this on. This is me. He started the season late. He got built iron, but in the short time of the season, he got himself in the dash and the 400 in the county. He made it to Group 4 championships, and he's now ranked number 6 all time on our school list as far as 55 dash. Though they're not here, I'll just mention the kids who aren't here. Marie Macklin and Cadia won the title. Paul, they ranked 2 and 3 county, also ranked the state. Ham and Appearance, they also won the county relay title for pole vault, ranked in the state as a group. And Kyla Hawkins, a senior in her first full season of track and field, was number 2 in the county, made it to Group 4 championships in the hurdles. And last but not least is Marquise Perry, who's number 5 in the county in the 55, 2 in the hurdles. He only ran 3rd this season because of injury as well, but through that, he also had for national championships. Marquise made all and all division. He's in the white division.
Yes.
And coming up now, Coach Keegan, our wrestling coach, both boys and girls.
That's you guys. Try not to be too dramatic. The world records. All right, my nervous. So, good evening, everyone. I'm proud to be up here today talking about some of my wonderful wrestlers. So I'm going to first talk about William Wilson. Step forward. This is Willie Wilson. He is a junior. He's a third-year varsity wrestler and the captain of the team. This year's record was 23-7. Wilson won the 165-pound district championship title. Placed for regions, was a state qualifier, all division, and GC all-star, all as a junior. Pretty impressive, right? And the amazing thing is that he wrestled with injury. If you notice the cast on his hand. Okay, so the fact that he did as well as he did, going all the way to states with an injury, that says a lot about his character and dedication to the sport and his work. So good job. Get back up. And we look forward to seeing what he does next year. Okay, next we have Omar Alamosi. Okay, Omar is a junior. He's a third-year varsity wrestler with a record of 15-7. This year took third place in the district and was a regional qualifier and made all division in the blue division. He's a hard worker and with a level sort of team. Complete match where I said, we need you to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't come off the mat, you don't win. And he won his matches, so he did his job. All right, again, he's a junior, and we look forward to seeing what he does his senior. Christina Jimenez. Did I say that right? Sometimes I get beat up for the way I pronounce it. Okay, she's a senior. She's a third-year varsity wrestler with a record 17-7. This year, Christina placed second in the county tournament, and she also medaled in various other tournaments throughout her 3 years with the team. The amazing thing about Christina, aside from her, she wrestled on the mat, is that she suffered a lot of injuries. Injuries that took her off the mat for a week or 2 weeks, and then she would just come back and say, okay, I'm ready to start over again. And she was wrestling, and she was injured again. You got a couple weeks, and come back. Then I get the phone call from Mom. What are you doing to my daughter? I'm like, she's tough. She knows what she's doing. She's fine. So she survived the season with her injuries, and we are so proud of her, and can't wait to see what she does. Last but not least, we have Diana Hoyos. Okay, Diana Hoyos is a senior. She's a third-year varsity wrestler, and I failed to mention that Wilson was the captain of the boys' team. Diana is the captain of the girls' team. Her record this year was 4-5. Okay? She competed in both the boys and wrestling teams, so she had double duty. Okay? I needed her for some points on the boys' team. I had to make tough decisions on, you have to sit, Diana, get out there. And there was a lot of love, so there was no hard feelings. And she would go out there and do what she had to do to, help the boys out. Okay? She gave a whole new meaning to the phrase. So, and she was tough. So, how far you ask? You ask. What you ask? Okay, Diana won the 114 county title. She medaled 4th in the North Regions and placed 6th in states, which means, and I said to her, Diana, you realize that in the entire state of New Jersey, you are the 6th best wrestler. Okay? Also, one of 5 wrestlers in the history of in Brunswick to place in the States. So her name goes up on a banner up in the gym. She'll be up there only 5 of the boys and her. So Wilson, the pressure's on you. All right. I'm super proud of Diana. She taught me a lot about how to coach girls. And the first thing she was to look at girls look as wrestlers. Okay, I was very proud of that. She's a senior, like I said, she's graduating. She does plan on wrestling in college, we just don't know where she's going yet. All right, she did at school yesterday. I'm super proud of all my wrestlers, and I couldn't be happier. Good job. Has to be served.
Thank you again to all the families, athletes, for education, for everything you've done for high school, and look forward to being here for spring towards the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you all. We appreciate everyone coming and supporting their students. Obviously, academics are really important, but the athletics help round out our students, and we're just really proud of all their accomplishments and I think the things they bring to our school district. Anything else, Mr. President?
No, just congratulations to everybody. Just everyone in addition to your awards accomplishments will be on the board minutes, so I'd just like to read a resolution. Be it resolved, the Board of Education, that the following resolution be approved. Whereas the Board of Education recognizes the efforts of our student athletes to perform their highest level of interscholastic competition, and it also recognizes the accomplishment of exceptional achievement. And whereas through leadership of their coaches and with the firm determination to diligent while preserving excellence, they handle their peers and represent Brunswick Township School District in an exemplary manner. Now therefore be resolved that the public name be given to the MTHS student athletes for their individual and team honors, and be it further resolved that MTHS student athletes shall be recognized appropriately, and that a copy of this resolution be spread in the permanent minutes of the board. Congratulations.
Thank you again. Our next presentation is from our auditor, Stan Klein Company, Mr. Stankiewicz. Mr. Stankiewicz can make his way up. I'm sure our parents and students are welcome to stay for the audit presentation. If you're having, that's up to you. We'd be happy to have you.
One girl, freshman, in swim team. Oh, yeah. Right? Sandy was a freshman. He scored all those points in 1 year. Holy. Yeah.
She went into the club.
Wow.
Mr. Stankiewicz? Maybe stuck in the lobby.
I think see him.
Okay. There he is.
There.
Yeah, I put it for you, Ms. Stankiewicz, with a portable microphone. So you can stand behind the podium to talk, or you can take the microphone and walk and talk as you present.
I think the microphone would be in cabaret night.
Might be nice.
Twice? Yeah.
It does. You just want to hold it close so it goes out to the TV audience.
I'm on?
You are on.
Okay. You should have kept everybody.
I did access.
Next year. Daniel Klein, we are the appointed by the board independent auditors for the school district for the fiscal year ended 30th, 2021. It's now the last 2 days of March. It is late, yes, and the reason for the tardiness was the health benefits information that would be included in the financial of the audit. It was not released until January 26th. So part of it will be March 15th, the audit. Okay, so it is late. However, one thing I would say is we worked on the bulk of the audit in September, October, November, and all the accounting work relative to the basic financial statements was all done by the December, and the required electronic version of the audit, which is the audit sum, which is the state cries about that if they don't have because they need for the budget and all kinds of analysis work. That was filed on the due date, which was either January or March. That will be. So we're with the board who do the audit records for the year. And the audit consists of us looking at your financial records, and it's sort of a joint venture. The management of the district presents us with financial information, bank reconciliation, general ledgers, revenue reports, expenditure reports, provides us access to payroll information, timesheets, W-4s, W-9s, I-9s, all kinds of required items to be in the district. Also not take for your expenditure, okay? As well as read the minutes to see what's going on within the district, to see that we do it back to those minutes to see that things were, expenditures were properly authorized, okay? So, and a lot is done on a sample basis, okay? We don't really do a haphazard, like, oh, let's just pick on this. We do random samples. It's simple as the first check number of the year and next check number of the year, and we pick number on our statistics, we use 20 on sample. And also do the same thing for the first payroll transaction here and the very last one. We run samples, we check, see various things, but I'll go a little more into that shortly. But what also we do is we do look at big ticket items, big dollar amounts, things like, for example, your construction bills, your high school, your new school bills. We look at big ticket items like, for example, a lot of the purchases you made for tuition, education, licensing, and so forth. We incorporate that into our tax. So the audit starts, we just start in July, not that it takes the whole time, but what I try to do with all this I work on is I like to get the student activity funds audited, done, and back to schools, most especially the high school, so it can be there when kids get back for fall athletics. So we go through that. We found that to be quite well, and we emphasize that we harp on it because you have a very large life. Now, the student activity fund for your independent is, the high school has a gentleman who handles their records, the middle school does. They have to follow the rules. The business office, we prefer it happens, they pre-audited before we get it. And basically what it really is if it's a student equity expense, it should be a student activity expense, not a refrigerator for the teacher's room, okay? Or coffee. I don't know a lot of eighth graders in coffee, but sometimes need that. So we get that audited, and it's really legal, but so we get out of the way, we get into the heavier things like, for example, we'll get your social revenue fund. We have a lot of grant activity going on here, so we get into that. It has to be tied. I really did Penny anyway, but it's actually tied to Penny by Rosa and your CFO, your treasurer. It's tied to the Penny before we get here, which is the most important thing in our scope of what we do. That's the highest thing that can happen is your cash facilities monthly on a monthly basis. Never sent the general ledger in 30. So once we know that the general ledger is in agreement with the bank, then we say, okay, the general ledger can be relied upon, and then we start working our way through the process. We do look at general ledger, we do analyze it, but for the most part, the main funds, which is the general fund, the school revenue fund, and your proprietary, those records are presented in very good shape. We have minimal, if any, what we call audit adjustments. Meaning, we do audit, but it's the audit, the number gives us is the number with the end in all those funds. Okay. Now, every now and then we have to make adjustments for reallocating the fund balance, because sometimes you have to wait till the smoke clears to see, okay, like what's left and how do we allocate it to benefit the district. So that takes place towards the end of the process, but that was done by the middle of December as well. Okay, so all of the work was done before the normal due date of the audit. And correct package was written on. We tried to have a way that the correct take it before it gets to the level, so that we can say, look, we found this, but it was taken care of. We haven't had that in a few years. So now go back to what our audit procedures are. When we audit expenditures, four most important things. I mean, there's a lot of fancy terminology we can use, but it's very basic. All expenditures were properly documented. They were properly coded with respect to the budget code number. Now there's an underlying system of budget code that in anything, as well as the state. Everyone's looking. Every person who works in the higher offices in education and in Washington, they're looking at a line item. They want to see what you're spending, maybe on legal, maybe on tuition, maybe on speech, maybe on the different categories. So all the expenditures we've looked at are testing. We're required to test for proper coding. That was coupled with respect to bills in July for the fiscal year. They're cut off, meaning they're properly set up as accounts payable at the end of the year. Okay. There's some carryover bills because some bills don't come in until after the year ends, and you can't have every bill. Plus, you're dealing with multiple buildings. There'd be an invoice sitting in one of the schools and maybe the principal and the secretary were on vacation and didn't get here. So it takes time to get that all closed out. So proper cutoff of the day. And also have good your compliance contract. In fact, when I say pretty good, I mean just about perfect. In this day and age, in a school district or even in a town that we audit, it is almost impossible to violate the law. There's so many things out there to help you. First of all, you have all the line co-ops, all over. There's national co-ops, there's local ones, there's regional ones. It's almost impossible. It would have to be that Rosa went out and said, I'm going to buy that $91,000 cheap check. And I would have to we decline that. Make sure on a sample basis that everyone has depicted the sample, that their base pay proper. Okay. We also make sure that any additional compensation they get, like in coaching, in test coverage or cafeteria coverage, any extra stuff, that will, again, on a sample basis, was properly geared to. Payroll taxes are paid timely. That's major, and found this, like, the department of license, one you can do that, you payroll, just that, because they had a problem in the past, and they didn't want to deal with penalties and interest. Okay, you have significant dollars going through here, and the IRS bills significantly penalties, and they'll forgive you once, twice, but not 3 times. And they don't care that it's taxpayers' money, you're gonna pay the penalty. They're also gonna wanna see a plan from you, that, what are you doing to prevent this from happening again? Okay, and believe it or not, I'm here, I have another district, it's happened in the last 5 years 3 times. Okay, and I said, you need to have somebody in and watch this send, make them hit send the money. So that all was very nicely worked out. We also look at the ASSA, which is the enrollment count. We found the enrollment count, the attendance records speak right. There might be some minor exceptions, but that happens in a district this size, it can happen. Our look IEPs, we only look to see if there's a classification. We don't question the classification. That's not our job. Okay. As long as there's a legal classification on it, we're good. And that's pretty well, I think there's a gentleman named Christopher. Yeah, we found that, and his assistant.
Miss Arlene.
Yes, their records have been good.
Yes.
Also, we look at, you employ a food service company, we look into their records as well. They make their payroll records and their expenditure reports available to us, and time records as well for their employees. Previously, on Adam, who left after school year, that was all fine by us as well. So, and what we do is do like bill counts, we trace it from the daily records to the weekly records to the monthly, and then to this report that gets filed monthly to put in for reimbursement. So we were comfortable with that information. That's pretty much the results of operational testing and our testing in the business office. And as a result of that, we get good results. We issue 2 documents. There's a thinner document that is organization of the board about the operation of the business office. Every night that I go, I've summarized it, actually probably use more words than the report does. But the wording is pretty standard. If you look at it from other places in New Jersey, it's almost like the department that is telling what to write. Well, to keep them happy, we put in here, look, payroll is good, bills are administered good, okay, everything is good. So the 32 documents is my representation to you, the board members, okay? But it is basically reacting every night. The end also sets information for your enrollment counts, your net cash resources of your food service fund, which are, okay, they're below the level they're supposed to be. Every now and then you go above and they don't really slap you on the wrist, they can do a plan of action to spend it. They want you to spend money, so that's fine. Just as long as we don't have to pay money back, right? So then, in here, we have also, there's no recommendations, there's no comments, nor hints that it required board to action form correct plan with regard to the audit. So think of the document as sort of a joint venture between us and the business office. A lot of statistical information contained inside of here. And it's all boards, it's all the business office's numbers. We just put it in report format. Obviously, some of the boards don't have enough people or qualified people to do a lot of the stuff. We just have access to a lot of debt information, a lot of statistical, it's just all together. It is an event between us and district. They very district prepare a statement of expenses, as does happen here, and also very few prepare the complete detailed analysis of the special revenue fund. That happens here as well. And it's important because you want to know, the C1 tells you your fund balances. You want to know that sooner than later. You don't want it to be where I come here tonight and tell you on March 30th. Okay, it is the 30th, right? It's March 30th.
Payday.
Oh, that's right. Back in July, and consider your budget, like it's already introduced, you want to have information sooner than later. So under the prior standard, we would have that information probably around August 15th, so that he were where he's going with the next subsequent budget year. So, but inside this document, the only thing that belongs to us is our opinion on the financial statements, which the word doesn't appear, but an unmodified opinion. In the old days, there's not a lot of old timers here, okay? The old days, of course, unmodified opinion, okay? So opinion was for the records as presented. Like I started, it's a joint venture. Management presents us with records, and our job is to give an opinion on those records. That's really what it comes down to. All the testing, my young staff guys here bothering your staff people, not bothering, but hanging out here for a while and going through all the records. All good results. So as a result, we have an unmodified opinion. As a side note, there was an unmodified opinion, would have not probably. But you have the process here are very good. The setup of everything needs to go. It just needs to be monitored and kept, and as people moving from one position to the next, making sure that they're trained properly. But the system is good. It's just that people have to be constantly reminded, constantly trained, or just always training and making sure that they're doing the job. Because you can break them, put a breakdown and basic account. You can. So then we have a good opinion on the financial statements, and we have no comments that require recommendations that would require the board to take action. So that's our presentation. We're very happy to do the work. I haven't been here as much. This is a beautiful building. It looks good. I did like the other place. So that
Head
was
care. Homey. Well, you much think about
here.
You all came and presented to the Business Options Committee a few weeks ago as well.
The process works like this. We have an exit conference with the in-house staff prior to issuing the report, okay? Because it's a chance for management, okay, to look at a drafted report before it's issued and really to refute any comments and recommendations. And I don't really work like that. If a comment they know, it won't wait, because we want to come in and look at it, but it's asking them, okay? But we have to report, okay? It makes it easier, because what happens is now at the end of March, you're 3 months into the fiscal year, you're only here 2.5 months. Easter break, I'm like, you know, what are you really going to correct in months? Because then what happens is you put yourself and the board in a position where it's going to get repeated. It doesn't get fixed. So we didn't have any of those situations. So after our election, we need to make a hand up. So there's multiple levels of the report. And there's our presentation.
Thank you, Jerry. Any questions or comments from the board? No? All right, at this time, then we'll also open it up to public comment on the audit presentation. If there's any questions or comments, again, just on the audit piece, we ask you come up, sign in, say your name, and you can question. Seeing if there are none, may I please motion to close the public portion of the audit presentation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The audit report is accepted.
Thank
Or I'm
you.
sorry, we're closing the portion, sorry. I'm ahead of myself.
I do want to point out that the support staff in the business office and in the other office was very helpful, very cooperative. I want to make sure that they get the appropriate credit, because that's really, you know, but now if I wrote it up, they do work. Okay, so they need to get credit for this project, not just Rosa and, you know, Brittany and one other person. It's a whole lot going into getting to this point, so.
It is many people in the district, Jerry. I think you said it correct by Mr. Harry's group and the registration group. It is a team effort. It's not just the business office. So, you know, we want to thank those and recognize those people throughout the district that participated in this audit. It's not just about the numbers of dollars. It's a collaborative work we have to do to run the district and pull off the audit with partners. Yep.
Great, thank you so much.
Any questions? Again, please channel them to the president or superintendent. We're always happy to talk.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Good night.
Mr. Brockman, could you take item number 9, please?
Make a motion to accept annual comprehensive financial report, ACFR, for the school district North Brunswick Township for this year ending June 30th, 2021. The accompanying orders, management report, the administrative funding, financial clients, and performance, also for the fiscal year ending June 2021. This also includes a system peer review report conducted on Samuel Klein Company.
Second.
Mr. Brockman,
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris,
Yes.
Ms. James,
Yes.
Ms. Keefe,
Yes.
Dr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Toth, Mr. Wen,
Yes.
Ms. Bullock.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss, can you take item number 10, please?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following board minutes. Conference public meeting, February 16th, 2022. Executive meeting, February 16th, 2022. Regular public meeting, February 23rd, 2022. And executive meeting, February 23rd, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are open.
Thank you. Communications?
I have no communications. I
Okay.
do my administrative reports.
Yes, please.
So good evening to all of our families, students, many guests who are left over here tonight, viewers on TV. Thank you to all the parents and families who participated in our parent-teacher conferences last week. These were our first in-person conferences since 2018, because we had in the fall 2017, not in the spring. We are slowly opening up in our school buildings. This month, celebration of our schools month. There were numerous musical performances throughout the district, culminating in Tuesday night's jazz night at the BTHS Commons. On Saturday, we had the opportunity to host Model UN United Nations Conference at NTHS. And late next month, The Alchemists will be putting on a production of The Little Mermaid in BTHS Auditorium on April 28th and 29th at 1 p.m. and April 3rd at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Feeling's going to be a very popular show, so they are doing 4 performances for your benefit. So be on the lookout for fewer events this spring at your child's school, because each one of these events is great in its own right, but coming out of the pandemic as we are, we appreciate and savor them all just a little bit more. I'd like to remind parents that registration is open for kindergarten for the 2022-2023 school year. Students must be 5 years old by October 1st, 2022. Applications for full school lottery are also available for 4-year-olds with limited year-old spots as well. You'll find both on yellow buttons on our webpage at mbschools.org for both the preschool lottery and kindergarten registration. Prior to our next regular Board of Education meeting in April, the district will be closed for spring break from Friday, April 15th through Friday, April 22nd. Thursday, April 14th will be a half day for students. Our board and school offices will be on limited staffing this week, as well as only open April 8th and 20th. Schools and offices will all be open on April 20th. Since masks have become optional, COVID numbers so far remained low, and we do continue to keep an eye on them. However, due to lack of participation, the district will no longer provide the weekly in-person Miramis PCR testing for staff and students at the MBT board office. Finally, our strategic planning process for our district is now underway. The theme of Training a Course for Success will our work will guide our school over the next year, school district over the next years. We were very happy that we got a robust response to our request for members of our strategic planning committee, and they will be hearing tomorrow on who will be serving on that committee. Additionally, a parent, community, and staff survey will be also released this week, and we certainly hope that everyone will take time to fill this survey out and share their thoughts and ideas to help map out the future course of NBT schools. Your input is essential. That's it from your proceedings.
On to sports.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Sorry. I was fidgeting with the mic as he was talking. It's just today, Gerard is feeling a little down today, so you guys get to spend more time with me. So for this month, on Friday, February 5th, BCA held a very successful event to honor Black History Month. A lot of great food, a lot of great music, great performances. It was fun to that. On March 1st, we hosted an annual student basketball game. Our seniors were able to take win, but staff members apparently kept a close score. On Friday, March 4th through Saturday, March 5th, we held our 38th annual Rockathon. There were 70 rockers to participate, and we raised almost $10,000, which will be donated to Bradini, St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and the North Brunswick Food Bank. On Friday, March 25th, the class of 2023 felt inspired and hosted their first Miss MBTHS pageant. So Emma Kennett was the winner, senior, and she's great. She allowed routine was great. And finally, while it is only March, we are already thinking about our next school year. Campaigning for class and SGO officers have begun on Monday, March 25th, and elections will take place on Wednesday, April 6th. That's it.
Thank you so much. On to committee reports. James?
Sure. On March 9th, the Education Committee met, and we reviewed anticipated new schedules for Linwood, the middle school, and the high school as well. And we appreciate the effort of everyone involved in those decisions, coming sessions to concerns that presently exist in those buildings. The committee also discussed the dual language math focus Rutgers partnerships, and we're eager to see the possible gains that we might get from those initiatives. Finally, I want to commend the district, former Superintendent Dr. And our current superintendent for the continuing effort of making sure that the district and its systems and technology are protected, cybersecurity. She plans under the superintendent commission, and we're looking forward to finding out on the committee and what the effort that initiative will also be. And finally, we had the second reading of the policies that are listed on the agenda, which touch on student surveys, sport-related concussions, compensatory education, student assessment, high school graduation, and the administration of school surveys. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. James. Mr. Wen?
None this time.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes, the negotiations committee met on March 15th with our teacher union and continued negotiation regarding ongoing negotiations.
Thank you.
Business Operations Committee met on March 9th. We had passed one of that riveting performance, Mr. Stankiewicz. We also had some discussions about some things going on. The auxiliary gym floor is progressing forward. Still needed some welding, final welding of that floor. Hopefully it'll be open soon at the end of the school year. The roofs on high school didn't have any progress due to weather issues, pretty much. And heat issues are getting better at the high school. We were down to 4 classrooms with 3 heaters. Otherwise, we're pretty much back to normal on the main unit. The middle school, they were working on some field upgrades. Fields that are part of Renaissance are not best. They were owned the middle school. On 26, page 6 of tonight's agenda, you'll see there's turf management company that's help us improve those so that we can utilize them. The chip, since the community park opened up, they really don't even use those fields, so we could use them since they're close to the middle school, but they needed a little bit of loving care, minorly. We all went over to the elementary school grades that we're doing over that year. There is some solar at some schools, the design. We also went over some stuff with fiscal year 2023 budget, which was presented at last week's meeting, and an overview of the strategic planning. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Stowe?
Yes. The Human Resources Committee met on Wednesday, March 9th, 5 o'clock. All Superintendent, we discussed amendments, resignation and retires. We thank all of the staff members for their service to North Brunswick and wish them best in their future endeavors. We also discussed grant-funded positions, new hires that are certified and non-certified, some long-term substitute positions, leaves of absences, current vacancies within the district, which we received some updates on after the fact of our meeting. The upcoming job fair that first offers are to begin the March, April, and spring. Also discussed related policies regarding anti-hazing, political activities, and bias crimes and bias-related acts policy. There were no changes. We also discussed some community relations topics regarding the monthly newsletter that Superintendent Troca sends out. We also discussed the strategic planning as well, the comprehensive equity plan for 2022 to 2025. And then last thing we discussed was the in our schools for March. We want to congratulate all of our meet performers, and they had some great activities throughout the month of March. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Patel?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the administrative, student, and committee report?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion? The reports are approved.
Thank you. At this time, the review our consent on page 5. So let's and 7. And 9. 10, 11. 12 and 13. 14 and 15. 16 and 17. 18 and 19. 20 and 21. 22 and 23. 24 and 25. 26 and 27. 28 and 29. 30 and 31. And 32 and 30. And at this time, we will open up for public session on agenda items only. And this is only pertaining to the current agenda. Any questions or comments for the board, we just ask that you come up to the podium, sign in, and state your name before you state your question. Seeing there are none, please have a motion to close the portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This portion is closed.
Thank you. Ms. Keefe, can you take item number 17, please?
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to approve the following consent agenda items: personnel, curriculum, miscellaneous, finance items 1 through 4, policy, and transportation.
Second.
Mr. Brockman?
Yes.
Mr. Duran Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Haynes?
Yes.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes.
Dr. Pell?
Yes.
Ms. Holt?
Yes.
Ms. Nguyen? Ms. Aug?
Yes.
All the motions have been accepted.
Thank you, Ms. Hawk. At this time, then, we'll open up a public session on any matter. Again, if you have any questions or comments, we just ask you to come to the podium, sign in, state your name before you have, or state your question or your comment.
Did you return? Sorry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Pasner, president of the NBTEA. To see everybody tonight. I just wanted to make a comment of appreciation for the budget that was presented last week. We were very happy to see the emphasis on, especially personnel, of everything else. Not above everything else, but a big emphasis on personnel. And I know we appreciate the time and effort to make that, but we hope and know that it will be very beneficial to our staff for next year. So we really appreciate it. And that's all I wanted to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth. Any other comments? Have a motion to close the public portion of.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion? We're closed for this board meeting.
Thank you. We'll now be going into closed executive session. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presented exist, now therefore be it resolved, the North Brunswick Township Board of Education, that the public shall be excluded from discussion of an action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed, is as follows: personnel matters. It is anticipated this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at such time a need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Please have a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We go closed.
Thanks, Beth. Bye, Beth.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good. Oh. Have a motion to remain in session.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in session.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have a public session on the superintendent's contract. Again, if any comments on the superintendent's contract, just ask that you, as usual, come up to the podium, sign in, state your name. Seeing that there are none, may I have a motion to close the public session on the superintendent's contract?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is-
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
I make a motion to approve the superintendent's contract commencing July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Mr. Brockman?
Yes.
Mr. Dan Harris?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Keefe?
Yes.
Dr. Tao? Ms. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Wynn?
Yes.
And Ms. Fuller?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Did prepare a little something after speech. I did want to thank you very much for all of your support and confidence this last year. From Dr. Zakowski, his confidence and mentorship, posing as acting superintendent for the year. Count up my year in education, it's been my 5th in education, and I couldn't be prouder to be able to lead Brunswick Township Schools as their superintendent. Northbrook is a really special community, and although this district is like every other district in the country, has faced incredible challenges through the pandemic. It's been amazing to see what our families, students, and staff have done to rise to the occasion. We're stepping up to learning and continually reflect on we were doing and how we were to make better. Recently challenges, great challenge, a lot of us over the next few years. Coming back from this pandemic, supporting our students in that. I really am excited at the opportunities that we have in North Brunswick to shape the work that we will do in the district over the next few years under my leadership. Look forward to partnering with the board, the staff, students, and families of North Brunswick to strengthen our district to offer the best education for our most important commodity, our students. Thank you again for your support and confidence in me, and I look forward to you all. Thank you.
No, we feel the same. And a couple things. One, it's not easy to, to follow a long-standing superintendent like we have with Brian. We know that the last year in general, year and a half, 2 years were rough as well. We really feel that you're the one to help move North Brunswick in the right direction, and help us get to where we need to get to. I believe you also are the first female superintendent in Brunswick, so congratulations. We're excited and we're confident that you're the right person for the job, obviously, and we look forward to the road and the work ahead. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
And on that note, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.